All right, guys. Kim just needs a few minutes. She has a little baby that she also takes care of. She is a mother. So she said just give her a few minutes. She's just feeding her daughter. Meanwhile, what was presented right now, what I could do is take a couple of questions, or in regards to the topic that was shared right now. Just by raise her hand, we could unmute it. Um, a few updates. Meanwhile, she's coming in. I'll give you as far as our KYC process goes. We did hire a company that is going to be taking care of our KYC. It's a Canadian-based company that we're working with. I just had a few meetings with them. We're connecting some APIs so we could streamline KYC and make it a little bit more better. So if you are uploading anything that's not right, it will decline it right away. So you don't have to wait a whole week and then it comes back and then you submit it, then it takes another week. We're trying to streamline all that. The other update is our Visa card as our knee card. We already have bought the API. API stands for API is a service that allows us to connect and give you more data about all your transactions and stuff. So things are happening there. Also, Visa website is getting more updated. You'll be able to see there's going to be a few great options that are getting added on there. First option is you'll be able to see all your transaction. You'll be able to load directly to the card. You'll be able to do what's called peer-to-peer. You know how we have our internal transfers from member to members? You'll be able to do transfers from that card also. We're going to be adding more crypto to it, so you could hold your crypto, liquidate it, and load the card up to it. So a lot of great things are happening. I wanted to hold this for Egypt, but you'll get to see everything live in Egypt. Well, Kim is on. I'm going to hand it to her because after Kim's presentation, there is a wonderful, leader that is doing things rapidly, and I want to learn too how he's getting great success. So let's hand it to Kim. Thanks, Kim, for coming on. I know you got your little one not feeling well. We're all praying for her and want to see her again pretty soon. We'll get together, but I'll hand it out to you. I'm gonna let you unmute yourself. There you go. I'm gonna make you co-host also. Sorry. There you go.
Okay.
Technology. All right. So we'll let you get started.
All right. All right. Thank you so much for the introduction. Good morning, good evening, good afternoon, wherever you are calling in from. We always want to thank you guys first and give gratitude because we're so lucky to be here. We're so lucky to be alive, first of all. So let's celebrate that and to come together to actually be connected with people that are like-minded and that have similar goals is a very amazing thing to have. And I'm really blessed to be able to be connected with people like Ibrahim and Mandy, as well as Cole. Cole, you did an awesome job. That voice though, that is like I actually never heard Cole speak. So I was like, okay, I see why he's great at presenting. He's got a lot of character and stuff. And so I'm excited to see more from Cole and learn from him. So if you guys don't know, I actually do a lot of the calls alongside with Mandy and Ibrahim. We do a lot of mindset training, a lot of personal slash professional development. So if this is your first time logging on, you'll kind of see a mixture of things that we talk about. And as we are in the business of business, the business of people, the business of online, and just being entrepreneurs, or maybe it's your first time actually stepping out of your comfort zone and starting an online business, we just want to build you confidence. We want to support you. We want to make sure that any of your doubts that have come in lately, or last month, or when you started, you're kind of having second guess. We want to make sure and ensure that you're in the right spot, you made the right choice, and you're connected to the right people. So today's topic is actually going to talk about just briefly some big reasons why you should start an online business. Because I mean, first of all, it's 2024, right? Who doesn't have an online business, or who doesn't actually think of it, or who does not want passive income, right? We're all in here, and I'm pretty sure most people on this call are a part of the New Era community, which is great because you're taking your first steps to actually learn, which is awesome. But I do want to shed some light on just having a business in general. Majority of people are employees, and we do the 9 to 5 or whatever shift that you are working. We just trade our time for money, right? And so if we're just thinking out of the box, right, we're just thinking a little bit extra than what we are already doing, adding another stream of income is very, very beneficial in so many ways, right? So many ways for you and your spouse, you and your family, you and your future. Or maybe you've already retired and you're like, hey, what am I going to do now? I'm not working a job, right? So having a business in mind is always, always great. I personally have a few businesses under my belt. One of the main ones is kind of like a brick and mortar. Me and my sisters have a wedding company, and we do decor planning and florals and all these things. And it is still trading my time for money. So I love what I do. I'm very passionate about what we do as a family, and it's a family business. So I enjoy working with them. But the thing is, I know when I get older or if something does happen to me, I won't be able to make that money anymore. So the ultimate goal is to really, have a big business in mind where that you can actually step away from it anytime you want to, right? The goal in mind is setting up a system, right? A huge business, maybe a franchise business, so that you can actually sell that business to someone and make millions of dollars, or hand it off or franchise it so other people own your system and then you can sell it. That's actually a very difficult thing to do. It takes a lot of work, right? And it takes a lot of time and effort, and it's sometimes too much for an average person, right? And of course, we're not average here. We're all like above average. But if you were to think, okay, I want to make money, I want to have a business, and I want to make money tomorrow, or things like that. It's a lot to do, a lot of work to do, especially if you're a parent, if you are or taking care of your parents, or if you have a busy lifestyle, if you're going to school, if you don't know where to start. Online businesses are just the best place to start. So New Era is like a prime example of somewhere where you can literally start today with so little, right? And then have extreme income potential coming in, eventually as you start to work it and learn more about it and feel confident about it. So I just want to reassure kind of the reasons why yourself, if you're not sure already, because you're already in New Era, of reasons why you should start an online business, but also why other people and your potential prospects, your people that, your family, your friends. And this is also kind of a memory jogger as I talk and share about stories. Then maybe somebody in your connections or in your network of friends, you can actually think of as I'm telling these stories. So make sure you get a pencil or a pen and a notebook and write down notes. But also, if somebody pops in your mind, write it down and make it a goal to, after this call, to reach out to them, because that's something that I always like to kind of sit down and be like, okay, I like to pray, I like to ask God, like, who do you want me to help, right? This is about a business about serving people. So you kind of have to always be on the, like, you have to, like, bulb has to be always on. So you're like, okay, talking to somebody, like, who would be really good at this, or who needs this, like literally everybody, of course, but somebody that's close to you that you feel very like you have compassion towards, where you're like, this would really help somebody. Or so and so, Joe needs a community like this, or Sarah really needs to learn how to do this because she's so good at networking with people and talking to people. Think about those people. It's not always about what this business can do for us, me. It's about what it can do for other people, right? And I think if you have that mindset and you go in with that, you're like 10 steps ahead of a lot of people that are in business, right? So let me get started. 7 big reasons why you should start an online business. And if you're already in New Era, great, you already got started, right? So obviously, besides the obvious income, right? So you have your 9 to 5 job or your 40 hours a week or whatever it is, you have your income, and you're kind of working paycheck to paycheck, right? If you live in the city I live in, you're definitely working paycheck to paycheck if you have one job. It is very normal for a person here in my city to have more than one job, right? So like a day job and then a night job, or a full-time job and a part-time, or full-time, part-time, and then another job. I know many people that do that. I know a lot of people that work a full-time job and then have started a side hustle or a business. And it is like almost, I don't know, I don't even know a lot of people that just have one job and that's it. Because when you live in Vancouver, you live in a beautiful city, there's lots of things to do here. Food is expensive, groceries expensive, going out, you want to enjoy, right? People are having families, you're having more kids. And right when you step out the door, you've already spent $100 on like gas and just feeding your family and stuff. More than you're just feeding yourself. So it's really, really normal here for people to actually have other incomes, stream of income. So depending on where you live, of course, everybody here is from many different countries. Things can be a little bit different, but I think majority of the people always strive to do more, right? And not settle for what we think is supposed to happen. Because sometimes we kind of get raised to go to school, get the job, and then have the family, and then that's what it is. I know a lot of people that don't have the mindset that a lot of you have, or that a lot of you are learning to actually go above and beyond and do more than that, right? I still have family members and some friends that are just like complaining about the same thing every year, don't have enough money to go do certain things or go on vacation, always wondering like, how come you guys can afford that? Or how are you affording, you and your whole family, to go there and take time off and this and that, and they still don't get it, right? So you are already ahead of the game, you guys. You're here to learn, and you want more for you and your family. And so give yourself a clap or applause for yourself, because this is a big step, right? So starting an online business is, number one, you can tell your prospect or tell yourself it's very inexpensive, right? Anybody nowadays, we have the internet. Most people have the internet. If you don't have the internet, you can get Wi-Fi somewhere and be strategic with that. So we don't have an excuse unless you're really really in like living in somewhere that has like no Wi-Fi or something and you have no phone. But if you have a phone, like any smartphone that can connect to the internet, you can start an online business. So that pretty much gives you a lot of range for people to talk to, right? To introduce something like this to. And I just want to make it clear too, in New Era, when you are in our business, you don't always have to just build New Era, right? We teach people how to actually build your own business, or build your business that you are already in, build it stronger, right? So the things that I've learned in New Era, I can take and use to promote my wedding company, right? I'm also doing New Era, but that's just doesn't mean that you only have to do one or the other, right? If you can time manage, and if you come on more of our calls, you'll learn a lot more on how to strategically plan your goals and your time and leverage things, right? Because you can do this. They say an average millionaire has 7 streams of income. So if you think about that, think about how many streams of income do you have coming in weekly or bi-weekly or monthly, right? Yeah, so small businesses, online businesses are really quick starters, right? Most of the time you can really just you can spend $50 to 20 for $200, and that's really just getting your domain or buying a membership or learning a few courses, especially on New Era, learning how to do that and connecting, right? There's a lot of things you can even search. So if you tell people about New Era, or you tell people and encourage them to start an online business, let them know like you don't need a lot to start. Where if you started a business where maybe you want to start photography, you have to buy, a laptop, you have to buy a camera that's like probably $2, $3, $4,000. You have to buy all the things that comes with that, right? If you want to start a restaurant, you have to pay for the lease or the rent for the restaurant. You have to buy the supplies, you have to hire staff. Like there's a lot of businesses that will take way more than $50 to $200 for the year to actually get started, right? And so when you think of right now, what you see if you're on social media, you got Instagram, you got TikTok, you got Facebook, you got Etsy, you got all these different places that you can do things, that you can just share your story, your life, what you're passionate about. You can vlog, like video vlog about your life. You can blog, which is just writing about your life. So journaling if you're good at writing, right? You can connect with people that are kind of learning and trying to go to the same have the same goal, and not have to pay so much to just get a little bit of help, right? So really this whole game is all about networking, right? Talking to people. You got to get out of your comfort zone, and you just never know who has the skills that you need, and who that you need that can help you, but also what strengths do you have that you can offer other people, right? You can always like barter. Sometimes people come up to us and say, hey, I only have a small budget for my wedding, but I'm a photographer. Do you think that you can do my decor, and I can give you photography for you and your for business, for headshots, for your family portraits or whatever? And to me, that's valuable, right? If I can share my skill to somebody and someone else can share back, that's what they used to do a long time ago, right? The barter system, right? So that's not dead. That's not completely dead. And you just got to make sure it's fair game, because people have those strengths and talents for a reason, right? So if you're not sure, you got to ask. We have a lot of videos and modules that will teach you about this. Our marketing, our Jenny Ho, she talks a lot about these things that you can do. And a lot of the courses there are available. So if you don't know, you need to talk to your leader and your team to find out what you can do to start this right away, right? If you're already in New Era. Of course, with New Era, all of it is just sharing, right? You can share with people about what you have. This is an educational platform. We're teaching people how to create their own income, right? Through many different things, whether it's cryptocurrency, whether it's digital marketing, it's social media or Forex trading, but it's all online, right? So this gives you kind of like a open range of so many things that people are kind of looking for. We always see people that are on their phones, and we're like, oh, this person's making so much money, like how do they do that? But we never ask, right? We're kind of like scared or whatnot, right? So for you to talk to somebody, you just never know when you do talk to them about New Era that they might be actually looking for something like this. 85%, 80 to 95% of the time, they're actually waiting for someone to approach them that they trust and care about, to ask them, to show them the way, right? And we have those tools for them as well, right? So we got to remember that. Digital marketing and the whole affiliate, which we have a New Era. Affiliate marketing, just in brief terms, is just like we're referring something to someone that we believe in, right? So if you go to a movie, you go to a restaurant, and you're telling your friends about it, and they go to that, we don't get paid for that, right? But imagine going to Costco, and you're just like, I love Costco so much. I'm gonna tell all my friends about Costco. Like, hey, Tom Jean Baptiste, have you heard about Costco? Yes. No? Okay. Costco is awesome. You get all your groceries wholesale, and there's membership. Okay. So then you can just buy a membership once a year, and then you get all this stuff for a wholesale price. Awesome. Awesome. Cool. The products are dope. And then so imagine if Tom signs up for that and I get a kickback. I think they have that actually. It's like $50 or something like that. So it's like an affiliate referral program, right? We have that with New Era. You don't have to complicate things with New Era and the compensation plan. You're kind of like, hey, where do I go? We just got to open our mouth, start sharing what we believe in. Why did you come here in the first place, right? And then take those steps to just introduce that and give them a little bit of interest. Once they have interest, then you can bring them onto a presentation, or maybe you're like, you know what? I want you to see what we do every Friday. Come on to this or whatever. Or like, hey, you've always been interested about crypto. There's there's this crypto Cole instructor that comes on, and he talks to us about cryptocurrency and how to get started and stuff. Why don't you come on? Invite them for a little taste, right? Because most of the time people are like, oh wow, you're involved in this? I had no idea this is a thing. And then meanwhile, Tom can get the benefit of that because he shared it with somebody. And so we want to thank Tom for doing that by giving him a little kickback, right? And then as you do that, it's word of mouth. Like our wedding company, we haven't really honestly done a lot of marketing. It's been a lot of word of mouth and referrals, which is huge. If you can just do that and do your job well, your business will fly, but you have to start doing it. That's the thing. You got to start doing the business. You got to start opening your mouth, and things will flow as long as you stay genuine, stay true. Always put people first before profits, and the profits will come. Don't worry too much about the little details. Number two, you have flexibility of your time. So if you think about your schedule, like, do you have time to like wake up in the morning and calmly just, plan your day and maybe go to the gym, maybe take a nice shower? Or are you like waking up and like trying to grab breakfast and trying to grab coffee and rushing out the room and like go in your car, and then you're speeding and then you got a ticket, all these things? Like, what is your lifestyle looking like, and how do you want it to be? Because with an online business, it's so flexible, right? And as you know, with the internet, you can reach a lot of places at one time, right? New Era, we're open in different countries, so it's not just, don't think small, like around who do you know. Like sometimes people join and they're like, I only have 2 people, I don't have any family. And it's like, okay, that's not what this is not business. Is just about tell your friends and family, right? Tell your friends and family, yes, but don't just stick to them. You got to branch out and network. Maybe your friends and family need to wait to see your first paycheck. Maybe they need to see that you're going to stick to this for more than a year, right? Like they need to know that this is a real thing. That's fine. I have so many people in my past experience that have joined me on my journey on online business through like many different degrees of separation, which means like I didn't even know them. I just got connected to them somehow, right? And so don't just think about your brother or sister and your cousin, your uncle Bob. Like there's many, many people out there, and the power of internet is very, very amazing. But back to the time. So with the time, obviously you if you have a job, you must sometimes you have downtimes, right? Like you have breaks. I remember working with Mandy before, and we were just like, we would have downtime and we're on our phones. We're just like boom, 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 texting or posting something on social media, trying to message people and connect, and then we would go back to work, and then we have another downtime. Oh, we have a lunch break. We would eat our lunch break, we would go on our phone. So there are pockets of times in the day that we can do some work. And don't forget this business, and especially with online. Online is like something different if you're doing your own business, but with New Era, we have a team. So I'm a very busy person. Abraham knows that. Maddie knows that. And so I try my best just to pique their interest, make the connection, right? And then I'm able to invite them to a presentation that maybe I'm not doing, and maybe I'm at work. And as long as they can build that bond, there's someone on my team that that I introduced this to, but I don't have as much time as other people do. Ibrahim has helped, and Mandy has helped leverage my I've been able to leverage my time with them. So that's another thing about why online business and this specific New Era type of model is very important. Now we're not telling you that, oh yeah, you can sit down and relax and just let everybody else do the work. You need to come, if you have the time, you got to come onto the calls. If you have the time, you got to be there in the presentations. You got to learn and be a sponge and just learn how to do it, so that eventually you'll be able to do that and do that for your team, so that when your team has somebody that they want to introduce them to, it's you doing those calls, right? And so it's kind of like we're shadowing each other, we're learning each other. So thank you again for coming on this call, because this is one of the steps, right? To be involved in the community. Don't just expect you're going to sign in, sign up for New Era and get money back, and that's all you're here for. We want to encourage you. Like, we're so invested in your personal development. We're so invested in your professional development that we want you to learn. We want you to grow. We want people to see you and look at you and be like, wow, you have changed. You're using different words. You're more positive. Like there's something different about you. And that's when people notice that there is a change. And that's when you can, if someone's like, Tom, you know what? You're like different. I've been watching you lately. Your posts are more positive. You've been talking about, doing a little bit of extra things. And I've seen you've been traveling, and what's going on with you, right? And then Tom's just like, I'm glad you asked. I'm really glad you asked. And a lot of the times you can just say, have you heard of New Era? And like 100% of people will say no, right? And that could be your first peak of interest, right? And then it could start off with just sending them a little information. Just tell them, you know what? I found a community that's helping me make money online, and I'm learning a lot. It's like I'm getting rewarded to learn. I need to show you this, or I need you to connect me with some experts or some friends of mine. Like, we're here. We might not know each other, Tom, but we're friends, okay? So we can connect to each other because we're here for the same goal. Number 3, you have a freedom of choosing your location. So yeah, again, people are so busy. You can work online and your New Era business at home. You can do this at your job. Depending on what job you have, I know some people have jobs where they can't be on their phones, of course, but there is some flexibility in some people. And then if you think about the time that you're like, oh, I don't have time, just think about how much time you waste also, right? Because there's a lot of times where I'm like, whoa, I just stayed on, went back in the pandemic days. I signed up for TikTok, and I swear that thing sucked my soul for like 6 hours a day. Just being on there, I'm like, wow, I just wasted 6 hours of my life. And it just like, you get sucked in. So you have to remember to like kind of back out, right? So wherever you go, you can do this business. When I used to like work and travel and do my business, you meet people, you're networking, right? You gotta, like, wherever you go, you kind of have to be a beam of light and shine, because people are like, who is this person? Like, this person's so awesome. People want to get to know you. You're going to attract those same like-minded people if you just become an awesome person. So wherever you go, you can actually build this business as you go, this business and any online business, right? Because honestly, there's not like an online business that you just like sit down on your desk and you just stay there. If you want to travel for a couple days or take a time out, boom, go, because you can take your business with you as long as you have Wi-Fi or your phone, right? You can even vlog or talk about what you're doing and why you are able to go there, because you have a little extra income from New Era, because you're able to, go spend some money on an extra vacation, go take a unplugged vacation with your family because you're able to. Like there's a lot of people out there that are really, really struggling. Like I have like some family that are always like paycheck to paycheck. And even one of them was like had a little bit of emergency. My cousin was like has like a cardiac illness, so he wasn't able to work for 3 weeks. And so for 3 weeks he didn't get paid. And now they're just 3 weeks of no pay for one income. They're so behind. They couldn't pay for rent. And I'm like, oh my gosh, this is like we have to do more, right? We got to think about how you can make more income, because if something happens to you and you lost your job, like God forbid, you lost your job or your main source of income in tomorrow, would you be okay for the next 6 months while you try to find another job, while you recoup, while you rest, while you figure out your life? Like, is if that's not the case, if you're like, no, if I lost my job tomorrow, I'm so screwed, I wouldn't be able to pay for rent, my car, blah, 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 then there's definitely more effort that you need to do in terms of building your business online, whether it's, your business right now or new era, but something needs to give. Okay. 4, huge income growth potential. So as you know, and some of you might not, we in New Era, there's like 7 ways to make money, right? There's you can invest in the courses and learn, and that's great. Then you can take that information and create your own business and own online stuff. You can sell products, you can sell digital products, you can sell physical products online. You can talk to people about New Era, sign people up and create this team, right, of amazing entrepreneurs that want to grow, right? And then continue to make income. There's so many different ways as you build a team that you can benefit. You also get rewarded for watching these modules. You get rewarded in me rewards, right? And that can translate into other potential income, right? And as you learn things from Abraham and Cole about cryptocurrency, you can take your $100 and learn how to follow the trends and invest in some coins here and there, build your portfolio, and also earn some income from there. So there's many, many things that you can do to diversify, but the limits are like, honestly, there are no limits. It's very unlimited when it comes to online. Okay, so don't be scared because it's like seems like a big, big thing. Just start like by baby steps, right? What do you want? Like, what is your goal? How much do you need and really need to actually survive? I used to always think, okay, how much money do I need to quit my job? Back in the day, I used to think, hey, comfortably, I would like to make $5,000, and I think I would be good comfortably, right? But what if you wanted to go on more vacation? What if you want to retire with your spouse? For me, it's always like, I want my husband not to work. I want to be home with my husband. I want my quote, or I don't know if this came from somewhere, but I always say, like, true success true success or financial freedom is time freedom. Like time is the new rich for me, right? Because you never know when your time has come. You can be young, you can be old, you can be healthy, you never know, right? So I want to enjoy the time I have right now with the people I love and care about. So I always like to say what we do here is we teach people how to do what they want to do with who they want to do it with, whenever they want to do it, right? So that's that freedom life, right? And having choices, many, many choices, many options to have. It's not just about like, oh yeah, I want to be a millionaire, I want to have this Lamborghini, and then I want a jet, and then I want to fly here just to like, eat lobster and then come back after. It's not really about that for me. And maybe that is it is for you, and that's fine, Tom. But for some people, it really is just to treat their family, right? Like I have a big family. My husband has a bigger family, and I would love to just be able to, write them a check, like write the parents a check, like here's 10K, just do whatever you want with that. Whether it's you pay your debt, whether it's you want to go travel a little bit and come back, or you want to buy a whole new wardrobe. And just like, I lived in a family of, poverty mindset. It was like my mom was single parent. She had 3 girls. My dad was just working one job, but like there was no child support and this and that. And mind you, my dad is like, he's awesome. And now we're like, as adults, we are great and we're very civil and I love him. But like things weren't all that great as a child. So I learned from my mom that we had to work so many jobs just to get ahead. So I became like my mom. I was like, I gotta work. I gotta work. I had like 5 jobs. I was like working, working, working. And then all of a sudden we got taxes and I had to pay like 8 grand in taxes. And I'm like, what? What's going on? I like sleep for like 4 hours and then I'm working so hard, but I owe the government money. It's like, oh, something has to give. Doesn't make sense, right? So thank God somebody actually approached me about an industry like this where you can make online and was saying, hey, you know what? You should do this. And I'm like, oh, what? I had no idea what this was. And I really fell in love with the personal development, and like my spiritual development actually grew as well, because that's where I learned like the like biblical like kingdom principles to build business. I'm like, wow, I enjoy helping people. I want to help my family. I want to help people like create income. That's like why wouldn't I want to do that? I want to bless people. Like I want to go to a restaurant. There's one of my mentors, Abraham. This is like Maddie knows Kevin Mullins. So one of our mentors mentor actually, he would tell us that he's like the owner of a company, and he would go to a restaurant. Every time he goes to a restaurant, he asked the manager how many people are working and how many people called in sick, and he would give each person and tip them $100. And I'm like, wow, like goals, that's when you like, that is a goal of like to be able to do that and be like, wow. And just like think about how many people, I mean, it's just $100, right? But you don't know how much that can reach people, that can touch someone, that like, wow, this person is that generous, that person is making that much money. Like, what am I doing with my life that he's able to do that? And to think about the people that called in sick, that didn't get to work so they don't feel bad. Like that is generous. Like that makes me tear up, because I remember that story and I'm just like, I want to do that. One day that's gonna be me. You know what I mean? Like I'm
That's how
crying
my
right
son,
now.
that's how my son was. We went to a school trip, and his friends didn't have money, so I was holding a group, and he goes, "Guys, come here, order whatever you want. My dad's gonna pay." And that's the way you want to teach your kids and your future generations, to always keep your hand this way, never this way.
Yeah.
So thanks for sharing. Yeah.
Yeah. No, that's so and Abraham's kids watch him, right? They see how he works. They see him run business and how he treats people, you guys. Like if there's anything that you can learn from Abraham besides business and crypto and whatever, it's how he treats people. Okay, there's a lot of, well, I'm like gonna cry now. I'm getting emotional. um Yeah, very kind person, very, very giving, very generous, very patient for sure. And so if we can just learn that from each other, like besides the money and the growing the team and all that, if we can just be kind to people and just share and help people grow and be a better person, be better people in general, the world is a dark place, you guys. We need to share that light with them. Anyways, number 5. This business runs 24/7. So, yeah, I don't know what time it is in all the places that you guys are logging in, but I'm sure there's people from Africa, Caribbean, Europe. Like it's nighttime there. I mean, right now it's 11:20 in the afternoon here. But as you can see, we can run this business 24 hours. And with the magic of like AI and making these videos that we can send to people, it's like it can just go on and on. And sometimes I used to think I would message people too late. I was like, "Oh, I shouldn't message that person." I'm like, you know what? Ever since becoming a mom, I know that. I know now that moms actually, there's a lot of my mom friends stay up late because when their kids are down and they can have their own time. So they're like responding to me at like 12 o'clock. I'm like, who's awake? And then there's a whole bunch of moms that are just like, I'm awake, I'm awake, I'm awake. So and so woke up with a whatever. I can't go back to sleep. So sometimes, of course, I want to respect people's business hours, but really 24 hours, people can turn off their phones and check in the morning. And sometimes I'm like, you know what? I have to message this person now because tomorrow I'm so busy. I might not be able to message them. So I will message some people here and there. Email is nice and safe. There's so many ways to message people. So remember, like for a restaurant, you have hours they have to like close unless you're like, 7-Eleven or something. But for online, it is 24 hours. So that gives you even more, of a range of when to work it, right? We don't have to say like, oh, I have work during the hours of my business. Like, no, online business is 24 hours. So you can do it when you can, right? The flexibility is just huge for online versus, brick and mortar. Number 6, eventually you can outsource your work. So I went to like a business convention, and there's a lot of different speakers, and one of the speakers that I remember, he was talking about time management and just organizing your life better so that you can do more business. And he says, if you can afford to hire someone to do things that anyone else can do it so you can do more profit producing productivity. So for example, if you can hire someone to clean instead of you spending like 5 hours washing dishes, doing laundry, cleaning your house, tip top and all that stuff, because you can pay somebody, I mean, everybody's currency is different, but say you give somebody a minimum wage to pay to clean your house, you have 6 hours that you can build your business. Like whoever does clean their house for 6 hours. But sometimes laundry can take a long time. I feel like sometimes I'm in the kitchen like all day cleaning and meal prepping. If you need help with cooking, somebody else can cook. If you need help with meal prepping, someone else can do that. If you can afford, right? But sometimes people are like, yeah, I can't afford to pay that right now. And that's fine because a lot of us can. But eventually, that's why it says eventually. When you come to a point where there's some extra income there, you can actually outsource things, right? Even with like, making a presentation or something, or making a business proposal, or social media managing. You can pay someone to manage your social media so that it can make more money, especially if you can't do it, right? So that's another reason why people need to start a business, especially an online business, because to make that income so you can actually pay somebody to do the work that maybe you don't have time for. Because everybody looks at online and they're like, oh my gosh, how that person has so much time on their hands. But you don't know if they're paying people to post for them and to film for them or to edit for them or to do different things. There's a lot of people. I know a lot of people in the in industries that, they go on Fiverr and they hire people for really cheap to do certain work that they don't have time to do. I actually have a friend who got a job as a marketing real estate construction person or whatever in LA. And I laughed so hard. She was like, her manager asked her to do all these things with websites and like all these whatever, and she just like didn't know anything about it, and she hired somebody in the Philippines for like $100 to do it all, and he did it like this, and the boss was like, whoa, how did you do that? We've never been able to get that done. And she's like, oh yeah, so she paid a little bit of her income, but she got paid a lot of money got a little bit, and that's a lot of money for people in the Philippines. Like that's not like, you're not like lowballing them. This is something that is high for them. But I'm Filipino, so if you guys are like, it's people, we're helping people. But yeah, so things like outsourcing is such a smart way to do it. But again, you need to earn that income, right? It's like a give and take. Number 7, you can focus on what matters the most to you. So think about what that is for your life, right? I mentioned it before, time for me is like everything. Uh, oh, getting emotional again. I have a daughter, she's almost 2. If you have kids, time speeds up so fast. You're like, where did it go? Like, you want to cherish all those memories, but they go so fast. And you're like, oh my gosh, like I want more time with my family. My mom, she's getting older. And I'm just like, oh my gosh, how much time do I have left with her? Am I being so busy being busy that I don't have time to like be present? So like, this is another reason why we need to like work hard a little bit and have that balance and just do extra. If you feel like you're ever like, I don't want to do this anymore, I'm so like, no one's signing up, I'm not learning anything or whatever, I don't have time for the calls, don't give up, because you have to remember why you're doing this. What matters to you the most? Maybe you're like single and you're like, I just want to see the world, I want to travel, I've never flown out of my city before, I want to meet people, I want to travel, and I want to be inspired. That is a huge thing too. That's something that matters to you. You can do that. I know people that want to, Mandy, she wants to start like, a foundation for some cities in back home, to help women that have been, abused and not being treated well. Like that's something huge. Like I would love to my mom always has a heart for orphans in the Philippines. Like there's so many bigger things than just paying our bills and just like being able to do that, right? So like, dream a little bit. It's okay to dream a little bit, even though you think, oh, that's never going to happen. You have to like put it out there, right? Because you sometimes people just like get stuck in like all the things that people told them, like, oh, that's never going to happen. It's so negative. You just got to put out your dreams, lay it out there, put your heart on the line, right? You only have one life. You don't want to have regrets. There's like a quote, correct me if I'm wrong. Um, Les Brown always says the graveyard is the place where all the dream, like the most dreams die, because they don't actually go for it. that's not the quote, but it's something around there where it's sad because people die with their dreams. They die with their goals, never trying to reach it. Right. And so you don't want to be that. You want to live your life as best as you can, and you tried, and showing and knowing that you did your best to do it. Okay. So who should start an online business? You, right? So if you're a new era, you started, you're awesome, you're great, you're like coming to these calls. That's the first step. But think about the other people, right? Don't cross people off the list because you just never know. And I put this list just to kind of memory jog you. But if you're like, oh, who, like somebody that works needs to do an online business. Somebody who is a business person needs to do an online business. People with lots of time on their hands need to do a business. People that are busy need to do online business, like stay-at-home moms, working moms. And I do this on purpose, like students, business people, promoters, homebodies, extroverts, introverts. There's so many different types of people out there. Like I'm a little bit of an extrovert, if you can't tell. I like, I'm kind of like loud, bubbly a little bit. And I look at Ibrahim like he's very reserved. He's calm, cool, collective. And I love that because we have such different personalities where people can look at this call and say, they don't have to be like me. They don't have to be like Kim. We just want you to be like you. They don't have to be like Ibrahim. They just got to be like you. God created you how you are. And so you got to just hone in on being the best version of you and help other people because they're looking for the exact same thing that you are. So thank you so much for joining our call. And I hope you got a little bit today, a little inspired, a little motivated. If I could inspire one person today, then I'm good. So thank you so much for having me on the call. Love you guys so much.
Thank you so much, Kim. You inspired all of us. I was making notes and stuff. Every day we get up in the morning, right? And it's a gift from God. Our eyes to see, our health to have, right? All these are gifts. And when I think about it, what do we offer? Why is it given to us? Right? So when God could give us this strength, this luxury of getting up the next day, it's our right to give a better life to other people. So whenever I get up, whenever I thank God, I thank Him for putting me out there, and just make it a purpose of helping just one person. As Kim said, me and Kim connected through another friend, through another friend, through another friend, and now the people that I connected actually with are not around. They're disappeared, but that beautiful relationship, that friendship, that familyness is there. And that is what network marketing has taught me. I have created so many mentors, so many guiders, so many great friends. I am so different from what I was prior to getting into this. So thank you so much for doing that. I know Mandy had an appointment she had to get to, so she wasn't on this call, but that's the way the teamwork works. It's back and forth. Now let's talking about teamwork, talking about success. Let me